After experiencing a physical assault, such as being slapped by your daughter-in-law, the first and most critical step is to ensure your immediate safety. Personal safety must take precedence over all other concerns, including property, possessions, or family dynamics, as violence, even if it appears isolated, can escalate quickly. Begin by physically removing yourself from the environment where the assault occurred, whether by stepping into another room with a lockable door, leaving your home, or going to a trusted friend or neighbor's house. Maintaining distance prevents further harm, and avoiding confrontation in the heat of the moment is crucial, since emotions are high and reasoning immediately after the incident can provoke additional aggression. If threatened in your home, secure yourself temporarily by locking doors, activating security systems, or ensuring windows and entry points are closed. Inform a trustworthy person of your location, as this adds an extra layer of safety. Emotional safety is equally important. Recognize feelings of fear, shock, or anxiety, and allow yourself time to regain composure before making decisions. Keep a phone accessible to call for help if necessary, and do not hesitate to contact authorities in extreme situations, as trained professionals can intervene and ensure safety. Prioritizing your personal safety establishes a foundation for addressing the incident effectively, both legally and emotionally, without further harm. Once safe, the next step is to document the incident thoroughly, as accurate records serve as evidence for legal action, protection orders, or family interventions. Immediately write down everything you remember, including the date, time, location, and detailed descriptions of the events, your daughter-in-law's words and actions, and your own responses and emotions. Note any witnesses, their full names and contact information, and consider physical evidence such as bruises, scratches, torn clothing, or damage to property. Take clear photographs and preserve any digital records, including threatening texts, voicemails, emails, or social media messages. Keep all records safely with both digital and physical backups, and maintain a journal of ongoing interactions that might demonstrate patterns of behavior relevant for restraining orders or legal action. Documentation protects you from disputes, strengthens your position if authorities or mediators become involved, and helps process the event emotionally, giving clarity in a stressful situation.
Seeking a medical checkup is also essential, even if injuries seem minor, as slaps or other forms of assault can cause hidden harm such as bruising, swelling, or internal injuries. A professional evaluation ensures prompt treatment and documents injuries for legal purposes, validating your account and supporting restraining orders, protection measures, or civil claims. During the medical visit, describe the incident in detail, including all physical symptoms, and note if any part of your body hit another object. Consider the emotional impact as well, since assault by a family member can be traumatic, and healthcare providers can refer patients to trauma or domestic conflict counselors. Keep copies of all medical records, test results, and prescriptions, as these may be required for legal proceedings or insurance claims. A medical checkup protects your health, documents evidence, and ensures your well-being in the aftermath of a violent incident, empowering you to take next steps with clarity and confidence. After documenting the incident and securing medical care, it is important to consider calling authorities. Physical assault is a crime, and law enforcement can protect you, provide guidance, and create an official record of the incident. Contact 911 or your local emergency number if you feel threatened or if the aggressor might return, clearly explaining what occurred, who was involved, and your location. When filing a report, include all documented details such as time, location, actions, witnesses, and physical evidence like photographs. Authorities can also advise on protective measures, including restraining or protection orders, ensuring your legal rights are understood and exercised. Calling authorities provides emotional reassurance, reduces fear, and removes the burden of handling threats alone, even when the aggressor is a family member. Reporting the incident does not escalate conflict unnecessarily, but establishes boundaries, accountability, and a safer environment to respond appropriately. Securing your property is another essential step to protect both your safety and peace of mind. Begin by checking that all doors and windows are locked and functioning. And if your daughter-in-law has a copy of your keys, change the locks or install new ones. Additional measures such as deadbolts, smart locks, or security cameras, even temporary solutions like door jammers can provide immediate protection. Restrict access to sensitive areas of your home and coordinate with family members to maintain security. Create a safety plan with safe areas, a phone, essential items, and signals for alerting others in case of confrontation. Legal considerations also play a role. You have the right to protect your home from someone who has acted violently, and consulting a lawyer or law enforcement can clarify permissible measures. Maintaining property security also has an emotional benefit, reducing anxiety and restoring a sense of control. By taking these precautions, you establish boundaries, protect yourself and your household, and regain control over your home and personal space. After an incident of assault, one of the most important steps to protect yourself is to limit contact with the aggressor. Even if this person is a family member, minimizing interactions reduces the risk of further violence, prevents emotional escalation, and gives you the space to regain control over the situation. Immediate reduction of contact is not a sign of weakness. It is a proactive safety strategy. Start by evaluating the ways in which you typically interact with your daughter-in-law, including in-person visits, phone calls, text messages, emails, and social media. Avoid any non-essential contact, and whenever communication is necessary, consider using written methods such as text or email rather than face-to-face or phone conversations. Written communication creates a record of the interaction, which can be helpful if disputes arise or authorities become involved. Establish clear boundaries about what interactions are acceptable and what are not. For example, you can communicate that visits to your home are temporarily off limits, that aggressive or threatening language is unacceptable, and that access to your personal space is restricted. Consistently enforcing these boundaries sends a clear message and reduces the likelihood of further confrontations. If you must interact with her, do so in neutral public spaces or in the presence of a trusted third party. Avoid isolated or emotionally charged environments, which can trigger further aggression. This may involve arranging meetings through mediators, family members, or counselors, where rules for respectful communication are enforced. Limiting contact also has an emotional and psychological benefit. After experiencing assault, emotions such as fear, anger, or betrayal are natural. Taking space from the aggressor allows you to process these feelings without being overwhelmed, reducing stress and preventing impulsive reactions that might escalate conflict. For additional protection, keep trusted friends, neighbors, or family members informed about your interactions. Share your schedule or notify them if you anticipate contact, creating a support network that can intervene if needed. In cases of severe threats, law enforcement can advise on restraining orders or other legal measures to enforce limited contact. Limiting contact is a critical step in protecting your physical and emotional safety, reinforcing boundaries, and preventing escalation. By minimizing interactions, using written communication, enforcing clear boundaries, and involving neutral parties when necessary, you create a safe space to recover and plan your next steps effectively. After ensuring safety, documenting the incident, and limiting contact, seeking legal advice is a critical step in protecting yourself and your rights. Experiencing physical assault, threats, or demands for property by a family member is not only emotionally traumatic, but also a legal matter. Consulting a qualified attorney can provide clarity, empower you to make informed decisions, and ensure you take the right steps to safeguard both yourself and your property.
A lawyer can explain your legal options regarding assault, harassment, and protection of property. Depending on the severity of the incident, you may be entitled to file criminal charges, request a restraining or protective order, or pursue civil remedies. Legal guidance helps you understand the implications of each option, including timelines, documentation requirements, and potential outcomes. Without professional advice, you may inadvertently take steps that complicate your case or compromise your safety. When seeking legal counsel, provide all relevant documentation, including your written account of the incident, photographs of injuries, medical records, witness statements, and any digital communications like texts or emails. Comprehensive evidence strengthens your case and allows the attorney to give tailored guidance. Lawyers can also advise you on how to continue documenting future incidents in a way that is legally useful. Legal advice also extends to property protection. Your attorney can clarify your rights regarding home access, possession of keys, and control over personal property. They can guide you through the process of changing locks, restricting entry, or preventing unauthorized access legally, reducing the risk of disputes or retaliation. Additionally, lawyers can provide guidance on interaction protocols with the aggressor, including rules for communication, supervised meetings, or mediation strategies. They can help you understand how to enforce boundaries legally and how to respond if those boundaries are violated. Finally, legal advice offers emotional reassurance and empowerment. Knowing your rights and having a plan in place reduces fear, restores a sense of control, and equips you to handle interactions or disputes confidently. Seeking legal advice is an essential step in protecting your safety, property, and rights. It provides clarity, validates your actions, and establishes a strategic, legally sound approach to navigating the aftermath of an assault while minimizing risk and ensuring accountability. Experiencing physical assault by a family member can be deeply traumatic, and taking care of your emotional well-being is just as important as addressing your physical safety. Emotional support helps you process the shock, fear, anger, and betrayal that naturally follow such an incident, and it equips you to make calm, informed decisions moving forward. Start by acknowledging your feelings without judgment. It is normal to experience fear, anxiety, confusion, anger, or sadness after being attacked, especially by someone you expected to trust. Suppressing these emotions can lead to stress, emotional exhaustion, and long-term psychological effects. Accepting your feelings as valid is the first step toward healing. Reach out to trusted friends, family members, or community members who can offer support and reassurance. Sharing your experience with someone who listens without judgment can reduce feelings of isolation and help you process what happened. Even brief conversations can provide comfort and help you regain a sense of control. Professional support can be invaluable. Consider seeking a therapist or counselor who specializes in trauma or family conflict. A trained professional can guide you through coping strategies, stress management techniques, and ways to rebuild confidence and emotional stability. Therapy provides a safe space to explore complex emotions, address anxiety, and prevent long-term psychological effects, such as post-traumatic stress or depression. Support groups, whether in person or online, can also be helpful. Connecting with others who have faced similar experiences can normalize your feelings, provide practical coping strategies, and reduce a sense of isolation. Hearing how others have navigated similar challenges can inspire hope and resilience. In addition, prioritize self-care routines that promote emotional well-being. This may include regular exercise, meditation, journaling, hobbies, or simply ensuring adequate rest and nutrition. Managing stress physically supports mental health and improves your capacity to respond calmly to ongoing challenges. Emotional support intersects with your broader safety and legal strategy. Processing your feelings helps you communicate clearly with authorities, family members, or mediators, and prevents decisions driven purely by fear or anger. Emotional resilience strengthens your ability to enforce boundaries, pursue legal protection, and maintain control over your environment. Seeking emotional support is essential for healing, coping, and regaining control. By acknowledging your feelings, confiding in trusted individuals, consulting professionals, and practicing self-care, you protect your mental health,
reduce stress, and empower yourself to navigate the aftermath of assault with clarity and confidence. After experiencing an assault and aggressive behavior from a family member, setting clear boundaries is essential to protect both your physical safety and emotional well-being. Boundaries define what is acceptable behavior, establish limits on access to your space, and communicate to the aggressor that their actions will not be tolerated. They serve as a foundation for maintaining control over your environment and interactions. Start by identifying your personal limits, considering what behaviors you find threatening or disrespectful, such as physical aggression, verbal abuse, or demands for access to your property. Be clear with yourself about what is acceptable and what is not, as this clarity is the first step in effectively communicating boundaries to the other person. Communicate your boundaries firmly and calmly, whether verbally, in writing, or through a mediator, clearly stating your expectations. For example, you might specify that visits to your home are temporarily prohibited, that aggressive language is unacceptable, and that no one is allowed to take or demand your property without your consent. Using calm and neutral language reduces the risk of escalating conflict while conveying seriousness. Consistency is key, as boundaries are only effective if they are consistently enforced. Do not allow exceptions based on emotional appeals or guilt, as doing so can undermine your authority and make it more difficult to maintain safety. Consistent enforcement signals that your limits are non-negotiable and helps prevent future incidents. Boundaries also extend to communication. Limit interactions to safe methods, such as written messages, email, or mediated conversations, and avoid private or emotionally charged encounters. If contact is unavoidable, consider having a trusted third party present to ensure interactions remain respectful and controlled. Legal measures can support boundary enforcement. Restraining or protection orders, for instance, legally prevent someone from approaching your home, contacting you, or threatening you. Consulting an attorney or law enforcement can help clarify how to implement boundaries effectively within the law. Finally, boundaries serve an emotional protective function. They help reduce anxiety, provide a sense of control, and reinforce your self-respect. By defining limits clearly, you create a framework for safe interactions and prevent further emotional or physical harm. Setting boundaries is about clarity, communication, consistency, and enforcement. Establishing firm limits regarding behavior, property, and access ensures your safety, supports emotional well-being, and communicates to the aggressor that their actions are unacceptable and will not be tolerated, empowering you to take control of your environment and interactions confidently. Once your immediate safety, property security, and legal steps are addressed, you may consider mediation or family intervention as a way to address underlying conflicts in a structured and controlled environment. This step should only be pursued after ensuring that the aggressor respects boundaries and that it is safe for you to engage. Mediation can provide a neutral space to communicate concerns, resolve disputes, and prevent future confrontations, but it must be approached cautiously to protect your well-being. Mediation involves a neutral third party, often a trained mediator or counselor, who facilitates conversation between conflicting parties. The mediator helps maintain a respectful tone, ensures that everyone's concerns are heard, and guides the discussion toward productive solutions. In cases involving family members, this process can be particularly useful because it balances the emotional complexity of familial relationships with practical conflict resolution. Before agreeing to mediation, assess the safety risks. If the aggressor has a history of violence, or if you still feel threatened, it may not be appropriate to engage directly. In such cases, alternative approaches, such as written communication through lawyers or professional mediators, can allow issues to be addressed without putting you at risk. Safety should always take precedence over reconciliation. Mediation can address a variety of issues, including household responsibilities, property access, and interpersonal conflicts.
A structured intervention helps prevent the escalation of minor disputes into aggressive confrontations. It also establishes rules of engagement, such as time limits for discussion, guidelines for respectful communication, and agreements on follow-up actions. These structured protocols can provide a sense of control and predictability that is often lacking in unmonitored family interactions. Engaging in family intervention or mediation also has an emotional benefit. It provides a forum to express feelings, set expectations, and clarify misunderstandings in a controlled environment. This can reduce long-term stress, resentment, or fear, while promoting healthier communication patterns. However, it is important to remember that participation is voluntary, and you are not obligated to compromise your safety or boundaries for the sake of family harmony. Finally, consider professional guidance throughout this process. Mediators, counselors, or legal advisors can advise on appropriate strategies, monitor progress, and help enforce agreements. Their involvement ensures that the process is safe, fair, and effective. Mediation or family intervention can be a valuable tool for resolving conflict, improving communication, and preventing future incidents, but only after safety, boundaries, and legal protections are in place. It provides a structured, neutral environment to address family issues without compromising your well-being.
If you or someone close to you has ever faced a situation like this, remember, you are not alone and your safety always comes first. Violence, even within family, should never be ignored or normalized. If you found this video helpful, informative, or empowering, please like it so this message can reach more people who may need it. For more awareness, guidance, and real-life support content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. We'd also love to hear from you. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments respectfully. Your voice could give strength or clarity to someone else going through a difficult time. And if you think this video could help someone, please share it. Your safety matters. Your voice matters. Stay strong, stay informed, and always stand up for yourself.